Yes, and unfortunately, I think it would be prudent to consider that we are only beginning. This is just the beginning. Now we are experiencing the same phenomenon that I have been commenting on all of us have been noticing. Ang bilis mag-develop ng bagyo. It was just a low pressure area, and now look at the strength of it. And the volumes of water are unprecedented. Okay, so yun ang kailangan natin bantayan. So question, how nakapag-forward placement ba tayo?
Mr. President, I knew you were going to ask that. I have one slide and one slide lang if we can pull it up.
Yeah.
Mr. President, we're back to the 2 million mark. This is the national stockpile.
Yeah.
The red number is the total number of stockpiled goods nationwide, 2 million.
Alright.
This was pre-Karina level. We had a very good run ng production this past couple of weeks. Now, if Mr. President, NROC is our Pasay hub, so we have around 176,000. Our Visayas hub has around 250,000. That's family food packs. Now, NCR must contempt, Mr. President, because we draw from the Pasay hub anyway. But the identified regions have very high stockpiles. Region 1 has 93,000. Region 2 has 109,000. Region 3 has 170,000. 4A 101, 4B 101. And then before this tail of Karina hit us, we had close to 162,000 in Bicol. So as of yesterday, Mr. President, we started distributing already, and we continue to distribute. Okay. Now we're already in the replenishment stage. Our Pasay hub is running at 20,000 a day, so that when the stockpiles of these offices go down, we can keep on sending them.
All right. Are there areas still that we cannot reach?
Mr. President, I was over the phone with the mayor of Naga. In fact, Naga alone, marami pang roads na impassable. Then I was exchanging messages with Kong Elry yesterday.
Do we know why is it impossible? Nasira ba yung daan o nag-landslide?
Mainly,
Tubig lang.
mainly for localized flooding, Mr. President.
Okay.
But I'm happy to report, Mr. President, that the Maharlika Highway, except for the section of Calbayog City, the entire Maharlika Highway up to Manila now is passable now. Except there is one section in Milaor, which is actually only heavy vehicles can pass by now. But I understand from the report of my regional director just now, that the rains have simmered down a little bit, so there is a good chance that by this afternoon, the entire traffic will be restored along Maharlika Highway. However, there are many road sections, secondary road sections, that remain to be closed for now because of localized flooding. And may mga soil collapse, Mr. President, but our people now are in the field actually taking out all this debris and to restore the traffic immediately, Mr. President.
Right. To give us a better, can we have the map again of Pag-asa of the track of the storm? I think this is going to be our best guide on what. Can I have the map? Can we have the map that you put up earlier? It is the Pag-asa map of. There you go. Okay, so this is what we can expect by Wednesday. By 5 p.m. today, it will be off the eastern coast. It will not. The center of the storm will not have landed yet. And again, what is your forecast for landfall? What time and what place?
It's about 8 later this evening, Mr. President, or early morning tomorrow.
And
From around 8
Aurora,
8
pero hindi, ang
p.m.
landfall Aurora, kamo.
Yes, Aurora
Alright, so
area,
that's
province.
good. And then this is if it's going at what speed? 15 kilometers an hour?
85 kilometers per
Huh?
hour.
No, that's the storm. No, the
speed is 15 kilometers per hour.
kilometers
Mr.
an hour.
President.
So ganyan ang magiging takbo. Usually we are pretty accurate as long as the storm has fully developed. We're pretty accurate. So ito yung kailangan nating abangan. These are the areas that, for example, I think we can start pag lumalayo na sa Bicol, sa Region 5, pwede na natin gawin lahat ng pwede natin gawin. Pero wag na natin pasukin muna ang Region 1, Region 2 dahil parating pa lang. So pabayaan muna, there's nothing we can do except wait for it to pass. Give all the warnings that we can give, evacuate as many people as we can. But we really have to just batten down the hatches for a day, and make sure that everybody has what they need. Everybody has the emergency supplies. Meron silang ilaw, meron silang tubig. But maybe we'll have to shut that down. Pero wag na sana tumagal masyado. But in the meantime, mag-isip na tayo how we are when we can go in with our equipment for the public works and to open to open all the thoroughfares. Once they are open, if they're not open, we will look to SND to fly it in, perhaps, if that's the best that we can do. Patulong din tayo, we can ask the Coast Guard also. The Coast Guard also plays a part in that naman. So mag-ready na tayo. But all of us should have this map in our office looking at this, and this is what we have to anticipate.
Just to go back to your earlier question, so bottom line, we plotted that all our field offices have ample supply in those areas.
Yeah.
Actually, we went back to pre-Carina level, so our stockpile is quite strong. Okay ho tayo on the ground.
All right. The problem is that it is not such a strong storm, but the effects are very wide. Kung titignan mo, layo ng Bicol actually doon sa center of the storm. Pero tignan, I've seen the news reports, ang laki ng tubig eh. Marami talagang binagsak na tubig. It's wide-ranging. Kahit na hindi 85 kilometers, we can prepare for that. At tapos dahil nga na madalas yung bagyo, na-saturate na ang lupa. So what we have to anticipate now, let's all prepare with whatever yung mga equipment ng DPWH, yung mga airlift ng AFP, yung mga relief goods and kung ano man, whatever all the other that we are doing.
Mr. President.
John Vic, everybody is well informed naman.
Yes, sir.
Those areas that are under that
Yes, sir.
that circle.
Out of the 1,252 LCEs, 87 are present in their municipalities. Unaccounted for 175, they're either on medical or foreign travel.
Okay.
But all of it informed that all have activated their disaster response scenarios.
Sir, if I may.
Yes, yes.
Sir, on the parts of the DNR, we've also reached out to the private sector, to the mining industry. So they are now informed that they may be called to assist in response and recovery, probably rescue if need be, since they have the technical equipment and they have the manpower to perform rescue in terms of possible landslide and other situations. We've also asked and coordinated with the Philippine Space Agency. They've activated also image acquisition so we can actively monitor the extent of the impacts.
From Pag-asa, the data that is coming in from space agencies incorporated in your forecast. Oh, kasama yan eh. Ang pagkaintindi ko, kasama talaga.
Yes, Mr. President.
We have a function of sometimes our satellites.
We have access from meteorological satellites
Yeah.
actually
All
from
right.
Japan.
No, that's right. We need to get all the best data that we can. Well, I think we're reasonably well prepared. The power is going to go out, whatever we do. Uh, we, we do we just follow our regular procedure. We take down the power when it is not safe.
Yes, Mr. President.
To keep the cables energized.
Yes. Mr. President,
come back.
we have 16 electric cooperatives which are partially out of power. 4 are completely without power, including Sorsogon, Biliran, and as far down as Siargao.
Yes, I know. I was surprised to hear.
So NEA is already coordinating, and so far as rehabilitating the ones in the Bicol region. 69 kV lines have been affected also in a number of areas. So NGCP, as you said, will be coming in as the weather situation improves.
Yes. Well, again, we turn the power off precisely to keep it safe, and then go back and take a look at the damage, see how we can repair it. There's sometimes a tendency in these areas because we say bring the power back immediately, So jerry-rigged lang yung mga ginagawa nila, but then it becomes permanent, and that makes the the system frail, not robust. I don't know how we get around that because talagang there's a very, very strong demand. Balik na yung kuryente kaagad, as quickly as possible, bilis. So kung ano-ano na lang ginagawa. That's really that. Kaya yung mga nakikita niyo yung wire na bulbul, yun eh. Oh, dahil nagmamadali. Kahit papano, sige, basta ilagay mo dyan. Sige. Mag-short yan, di na bale, basta ilagay mo. Oh, sige, okay na yan. Tapos, dapat mabalikan. Pero hindi na binabalikan. So we have to be conscious of that so that we make our systems more robust.
We take note of that, Mr. President. Yeah.
Oo nga. Oo. All right. Well, again, as health, you'll go in as soon as you can. Basically, we can start to go in. I don't know. Depends also on public works and the availability of airlift. But we cannot go in right now. Maybe parts of Bicol, baka maumpisahan na natin. Baka pwede nang lumipad ang helicopter or something like that para makapasok man lang na makapag-report na mabuti kung ano yung sitwasyon. But the point right now is that the storm is actually still off of our coast. It's not yet hasn't made landfall yet. So the worst is yet to come, I'm afraid. So let's all prepare. Let's just all prepare so that the minute that we get the signal that it's okay to go in, we'll all be able to go in. Doesn't mean that signal will be the same for everyone. Of course, the airlift will go in first, and then once the public works has been able to open at least the main thoroughfares, then everything else will go in. Health will go in, the relief goods will go in, and wala tayong magagawa if we just. I'm feeling a little helpless here because all we can do is sit tight, wait, hope, pray that there's not too much damage, that there are no casualties, and then go in as soon and as quickly as possible with as much as we can to alleviate the effects especially first to the population, and then afterwards we will take care of all the other infrastructure, the power, the roads. Let's watch again those dams because we don't want the situation that happened in the Cagayan Valley. We're just released without telling anyone, and there was no plan. And we all remember what happened there. So iwasan natin yun. But let's anticipate. Let's be proactive about it. Let's not wait for the levels to reach the maximum. Kung kaya, mag-release na tayo ng kahit kaunti lang para hindi biglaan na makapag-release, para hindi mag-overflow. So let's think in those terms that we'll plan ahead. All the dams that we think will be affected, let's think about already releasing some water, so that when the real water comes, it will be not as bad. Yeah. What else? What else? What have we missed? What? Yes. Yes, Andy.
Mr. President, since this is a big, it will need big logistics, and coming from areas which are not affected, we would encourage coordination to keep the roadways in the areas not affected free, so that our trucks and other vehicles can freely move. And so we will be working closely with the Executive Secretary to recommend suspension of work or classes in the areas where we need to marshal our logistics just to keep the roadways free, Mr. President.
Well, like in any, the first responders are going to be the local governments. Silang una talaga makakapasok dyan. Let's be sure that kung meron talagang request for assistance, that we will try and give them the assistance. Kasi meron talagang mga bagay, meron talagang mga problema na hindi kaya ng local government o kulang ang local government. They need more. So let's make sure na maganda yung coordination natin at saka yung sa mga lokal na tumawag sila at magsabi sila kung ano yung pangyayari.
As a present, Congressman El Rey already conveyed this need for assistance as soon as possible, sir.
Yeah, all right. So we'll just stay very in close contact with them, so that we know what their situation is, and if there's they have an emergency request for augmentation of some kind, di ba? Para maka-respond kaagad ang national.
Mr. President.
Yes, Secretary.
Well, Mr. President, I think for clearing of roads, we're happy to report also that there is no bridge that collapsed actually.
Okay.
So I think as soon as the water subsides in the locally flooded areas, our response teams will now be able to enter into clearing all the debris and like fallen trees and other materials inside. As soon as we are able to clear all the national secondary roads, we will coordinate also with the local governments where they would need actually the assistance of the department for clearing out the roads inside the local roads, Mr. President.
All right. The other thing is there was how do you call this? An offer. Again, rather a communication from MMDA for the water purifiers. Rex? Yan yung water purifier. Kasi wala si Benhar.
So, yung balde ho,
well, there's that. And then yung dinadala na pinapasok natin yung galing MMDA.
Yes, sir.
Yung backpack na water.
Yes, sir. I'll make the call sa MMDA.
Coordinate
Yes,
with
sir.
them. Because again, we're going to run into that situation where water supply is critical. Baka magkasakit na yung mga tao sa water supply. So
I'll make the call sa MMDA.
Yeah. You coordinate with them so that where we immediately need it. And then we can do again the balde.
Yes, sir. We're sending na rin, sir.
How many do we send? I don't know if it's the same as in the time in Yolanda, but in the time of Yolanda, when we brought those the filtration system in, that was good for 100 people per day.
Sir, it's almost the same kasi ang ginagawa niya per evacuation center. So they cluster, let's say, 3 rooms, depending on how many are inside a room. The one I showed you was parang 100. Same,
That
sir.
looks the same as the
Yes.
one that we had
Yes, sir.
in
It's still the
Yolanda.
same. So we're sending it over there, sir.
Sige. So, but how many? How do we ratio it?
So it depends on the number of evacuees that we have and the number
So
of
doon na lang
evacuation
that's
center.
where we take
That's where we get the ratio, sir.
Okay. Yeah, and it's simple enough. How was your experience in Basco in Batangas?
Sir, okay naman. Wala naman untoward incident afterwards.
Pero nagamit talaga
Nagamit
nila.
ho nila, sir. In fact, we augmented pa some more. They asked us to bring some more.
That's a good sign.
Yes.
That means it's really effective. So let's keep that in mind. And then, of course, the MMDA has their
So I'll call MMD right after.
SPs.
Sir,
Yes.
if I may, sir, the evacuation areas will have no electricity and no communication. Do they have access to the Starlink system so that they can have internet at least for communication? Are we prepared for that?
Usually, the cell sites continue to operate, but it's not happening.
During a typhoon, sir,
saan
a lot of
ang,
them stop.
Saan yung mga area na hindi natin walang communication?
We will know pretty soon, but I think Albay is pretty hard hit now. So I think in terms of preparation for the coming typhoons, maybe we should advance purchase and stockpile on the Starlink, sir. So
But that will, again, ganun din, kasama yan eh. Meron na tayong kasamang communication na dinadala.
yes, sir.
We put up some kind of satellite system. Dati truck pa yan eh. Yung malaking dish
That's right.
na yan, maliliit na lang.
Maliit na lang yun, sir.
So, yun ang but it will again depend on the accessibility. So maybe on the first airlifts, we can include kahit yung basic lang na communication system.
Yes, sir.
Kasi pagkaalam ko, ang mga cell site, mabilis bumalik because they have their own power. They have their own power supply. And they're able to do that. So, but nonetheless, we still have to put in, especially for government offices,
Yes, sir.
for the local relief response, para masabi sa atin what do we need. And even when they send our people in, they have to report back to us and tell us what's happening. Yes, sir.
Sir, with regard to the water filtration machine of MMDA, this is the 6,000 liter per day machine. Nag-procure na rin tayo, sir, ng 34
okay.
similar machines so we can also deploy.
Nandito na, nasa atin na.
Yes, sir. So, Mr. President, we'll
yeah.
just coordinate with...
Very useful yun. That turns out to have been a very useful piece of
Yes, sir.
equipment. Kasi nag-ano. All right. Okay. What else have we missed? Yes.
Mr. President, in terms of the airlift capability, we already have alerted most of our aircraft. But yesterday we also coordinated with our U.S. counterparts, and they are ready to send in their aircraft using our EDCA sites.
Yes.
And then if other countries are coming in, we will also establish our multinational coordinating centers.
Yes, there was mention of the international assistance. How do we? I'm sure maraming mag-offer, but we have to coordinate it also. What were you saying that we are in communication with other international agencies?
Actually, sir, the Secretary of National Defense has already made some kind of guidance to Office of Civil Defense in that regard.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So
We have to establish first the protocols before the actual deployment of military assets, sir. With Singapore, I already talked to Ambassador
Oh yeah,
Xi.
so you said.
And then we are reaching out to Brunei, Indonesia, and Malaysia as the closest neighbors. In addition to the partner nations.
Well, this is where we make full use of the EDCA sites, especially for the activities ng AFP, pag airlift. All right. Okay.
Mr. President,
Yes, Secretary.
maybe I'd just like also to announce, we actually just got recently verified for 3 international medical teams, level 1. So this is a 30-man team, complete with wash, facilities for outpatient care. I plan to deploy it, one in Bicol,
Yeah.
the other one in northern and central Luzon, para
ready to deploy healthcare.
Oh,
Sa
I
whole
see.
team. Ano yung first country po tayong na recognize ng WHO with 3 teams in one verification. 5 taon na po nating tinatrabaho to. And then the first team actually already was deployed in Turkey during the earthquake a few years ago. So it's a international verification. Gamitin ko na for our national
Oh,
deployment.
very good. Okay, that's what we need. All right. Okay, once again, what have we forgotten? Ano pa? Ano pang? Yan, si Sec Jimmy. Yes, and because how many? They are all lahat ng ports have been
Yes, sir.
have closed for
Yes, sir.
safety reasons.
There were 5,329 stranded passengers.
Yeah, I was looking at that. I was watching the news earlier today. Yung mga stranded na passengers, ang problema ng PPA, hindi nila mabigyan ng release
Yes,
dahil wala naman sila pambigay.
Yes, sir.
In fact, the person that was being interviewed said, baka kung gawin namin yung makuha kami. So,
Yes, sir.
should DSWD should
Operate, sir.
do that.
So we do,
Kasi wala naman sa brief ng PPA na magbigay ng release.
Yes,
sir, actually, sa,
Papalugaw na lang daw sila.
Yes, sir.
sir, sa standard operating procedure, even in Bicol Port yesterday, in Macnog, we were there. We do hot meals. So hindi yung family food pack kasi hindi nila makakain yun dahil wala namang cooking facility.
Oh.
We do warm meals on site.
Okay. Oh, good. Because marami yung stranded
There were 5,329 stranded passengers, sir, in different ports, plus 994 vehicles that should take the Roro, so they cannot sail because of this typhoon. No?
All right.
Yeah, yeah.
But the ports are shut down because of the weather. So we have no forecast when they can operate again. Non-operational lahat doon sa area. Yeah.
Coast Guard will give the clearance if they can sail already. No.
Yes, Admiral.
Yes. Good morning, Mr.
Good morning.
President. As soon as the area is cleared from the weather signal, we will lift the suspension of sea travel. But in the meantime, along the path, no sail po.
Yeah,
is being
better safe than sorry.
But nonetheless, Mr. President, there are some ports in Bicol which can be accessed just in case po na there's a need for us to bring in supplies. The port of Pasacao can be accessed by smaller ships. And we are actually preparing 3 ships now to assist OCD or this WD in case they need our help.
Sir, if I may, I just got a call from Congressman El Rey. Out of 600 barangays in Naga, 300 are fully submerged, 1,000 fully submerged, unpassable by cars, and they are in urgent need of rubber boats and 6x6 trucks to evacuate people. And it's just beginning, so
Well, for them, in Kamsur, medyo
Paalis na.
Medyo
Yes, sir.
na. Pero
So-
for the rest of Luzon,
yes.
it's not yet even quite begun yet.
That's right. So, sila yung nauna. In his words, sir, they're in desperate need. Hindi daw kaya ng local government.
It's really the flooding that we're going to have to deal with. So, anong gagawin natin?
Sir, yung BND siguro ang
No,
mauna,
sir,
sir.
as we speak, we're pushing forward the additional rubber boats to proceed to the Solcom area and already give instructions, sir, that we have to source some from Mindanao and the Visayas. J3 is working on it to Marshall already, sir, and if possible, we can even airdrop them in.
Okay.
Sir, for the same area, the food packs are being withdrawn already. I was also talking to Congressman El Rey yesterday.
Wow.
The first 50,000 he's already taking now.
Right on. So
Yes,
they're
and I told
able
him
to
to keep
use it.
on withdrawing as he needs.
All right. So ganun na nga yung mga assets because waterborne assets ang kailangan natin yung maliliit.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think for now we pretty much covered everything that we can do. We are except for the Bicol region, except for Region 5, we are still in the preparation stage. Region 5, mag-umpisa na talaga ng ano, kasi basta pwede nang pasukin, the public works is going to work to open all the thoroughfares. Those areas that are isolated, kagaya ng mga 300
barangays out of 600, sir.
kalahati ng probinsya.
Yes, sir. Are fully submerged.
Sir, it's because Camarines or the Bicol River Basin,
Yeah, it's river basin talaga.
yun po yung Albay and Camarines
exactly.
Norte, papunta sa
Correct.
Albay.
Correct.
Mr. President, nandito po yung
That's why
General
lagi naiipon dyan eh.
Mr. President, nandito po yung General Manager ng Philippine Ports Authority. Tingnan natin kung nagugutom yung mga stranded doon. Mr. J. Santiago.
Good morning po, Mr. President.
Yes, good morning.
Well, ano lang po, tama po yung sinabi po ni Sec Bautista po kanina. As of 6 a.m. po kanina, nasa 5,329 passengers po yung stranded natin and 994 vehicles. So what we have been doing po, every time naman po na meron po tayong ganitong situation, lahat po ng terminals natin sa stranded, we provide them hot meals po, no? Pero ano lang po, Mr. President, normally lugaw po na mainit kasi wala naman po sa budget po natin yan.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Opo. But what we do po is we do it po out of pocket po ng mga empleyado din po natin.
We should have a more, hindi pwedeng ganun lang mga ad hoc. Thank you very much, and I'm sure it is a big help to those who are. No, but the government should have a more systematic way of looking after them.
Mr. President, if I may. Right now, we augment the hot meals, pero we're about to come up with our DOST ready-to-eat box. It's a day box na lahat na siya kakainin mo na lang. There are protein bars and all those stuff. Galing sa DOST. So we're about to launch it next month. So yun yung mas systematic way of doing it.
But that's something that yan ang talagang fell through the cracks na hindi natin napaghandaan. But so I'm glad it came out in the news. Ikaw ba yung in-interview?
Yes po, Mr. President.
Sabi ko na nga ba?
In fact po, if I may, ano po sana kami, request po kami sa kila Secretary Rex na once those food items are ready, baka po pwedeng mag-preposition po sa mga terminals po natin na malalaki para...
We'll just do the same thing
Thank you, sir.
With a specific, sa yung mga stranded na pasahero. Pag sinara yung mga puerto.
Yes, Mr. President, when we procure that, patapos na ho, it's coming. The ready-to-eat boxes will pre-position sa mga pier po.
All right. So, sino pa? What else? Yes, please, go ahead.
Sir, yung tungkol po doon sa power interruption, actually, napaka-importante po na yung tungkol yun sa interruption to make it short as much as possible because most of the water supplies in the provinces are also relying on the power.
No, it's a perfectly reasonable demand to bring that power as quickly as possible.
As quickly as possible.
Ang daming hindi magawa hanggat may power.
And at the same time, sir, some of the cold chain in the hospitals are also reliant on power supply. So it's important that these are some of the humanitarian aspects that we have to look into.
No doubt. It's just that there is that that is that long-term effect which we have to pay attention to as well.
Mr. President, and as you pointed out, we have to avoid the possible electrocution of people. That's why we have to check the lines first. NEA coordinates that with the electric co-ops before we can restore it.
It's really, we all want to bring the power back as quickly as possible. Pero bawat metro ng linya kailangan inspeksyonin na walang putol, walang nag-short, walang kundi pag inon yan, puputok lang lahat yan. Magkasunog pa, may masaktan pa.
Mr. President, with respect to the power, I remember we will just have to marshal it again. In the onset of El Nino, we made sure all the hospitals had generating equipment and other water facilities. So we'll just make sure that those are up to speed.
Well, as long as we have been able to provide the equipment, kaya naman eh. Well, between the generator and the water purification machines. Yeah.
Mr. President, DOH, for those which it is running and supporting, they have provided for gensets for all of those. So that's at least for 4 to 8 hours, they are able to provide for emergency power. So we can draw on that.
Yun ang limit, Mr. President. Usually we cannot use the genset for long periods of time. They're only for like that temporary power interruption. Then kailangan bumalik yung power din. Pag continuous nasisira yung genset,
So,
then
hindi kaya. It's not designed for that.
It's not designed for continuous power supply.
Oo. No, there's no doubt. We have to bring the power back as quickly as we can, safely. Yeah, so we'll do that. That's exactly what we will do. That's what we always do. Well, our procedures seem to be in place. There are little adjustments that we have to make for the specific situation, but right now we will just have to wait for the storm to pass and see what the effects will be. They seem again, it's mukhang maliwanag na it's really the flooding that we are going to have to worry about. Not so much the infrastructure damage from winds. It's really going to be infrastructure damage and threat to life of the flooding that's going to happen. So the evacuation, tuloy-tuloy na natin yung Northern Luzon, kung saan yung talagang tatamaan, mag-evacuate naman. Sanay naman kami dyan. So, the point being, since the storms pass in our area all the time, people are not so hard to convince na mag-evacuate muna. So, basta't meron silang warning, gagawin naman ng mga local government executives. All right. I think we've covered as many things as we possibly can without seeing the final effects of the storm. So, okay, let's go. Let's prepare. Everybody knows what they need to do. Maraming salamat. Thank you.
Sir, question, Kristine related questions.
Deficit na tayo dito. Ito wala na. So, may question So, sa program tuning, okay, pumayag ng Kongreso or sa contingent funds.
Check. Check. Mic check.
Siguro naman napanood ninyo. Ganun din. What essentially what we are doing is going through our regular SOPs at maayos naman. Mukhang the department already. Ang nangyari lang talaga is that we looked at specific cases around the country kung ano yung kanilang specific na pangangailangan. Right now, it's really Region 5 that was hit first at saka mabigat. Unfortunately, Region 5 was almost periphery. Hanggang nasa gilid na nung coverage area ng storm. So pagpasok nitong center ng storm, pag-eye of the storm, papasok na sa Northern Luzon, baka maging masyadong mabigat, kaya kailangan paghandaan na mabuti. And we are doing everything we can to get assistance pre-position. That's always the key. People evacuated properly, get our our goods and equipment pre-positioned as close as possible without them having the risk of damage para malapit na sila doon sa area kailangan nilang servisan pagka dumaan na yung bagyo. And that's essentially what we did. And again, we've included all of the different agencies. Of course, the NDRRMC led by the DND, and they are prepared to provide, number one, from the AFP, airlift, kasi may mga kalsada hindi pa madaanan. And number two, they are continuing with the AFP is also continuing to monitor the situation so that we will be able to activate the EDCA sites which were put there specifically for this purpose. So the other departments seem to be well prepared. We have some budgeting issues simply because na meron tayong napakarami ang dumadaan na bagyo. Hindi bale, but that's not something that we should worry about because we will be able to remedy that.
Mr. President,
yes.
we expected a much stronger onslaught of the typhoon.
Yeah.
Will it be possible na ma-extend the suspension of classes and hold for
It all depends on the weather. Yes, very possible. Unfortunately. Very possible. As soon as makapasok kami, we will be doing that, and we are now beginning to marshal our assets. Like for example, rubber boats. Hanggang Mindanao kukunin na muna namin at dadali namin dito sa area na pangangailangan. We just got that report from Kamsur that half the province is underwater because they live in that the basin. Within Albay and Kamsur. Kaya yun ang talagang tinatamaan lagi ng baha. So as soon as we can, we will go in. As soon as we can. Kung kailangan, di naman mailipad ng helicopter yun. So kailangan truck ang magpapasok. Oo. So as soon as mag-clear, alam naman ng DPWH ang nagawin nila. Nakamonitor naman sila. Nandun naman ang mga tao nila, mga regional officers para magsabi when they can come in. So that's what we're waiting for now. So wala we are at the mercy of the weather as we always are. So we will just have to wait for the true effects of this typhoon, Kristine. All right?
All right,
Thank you.
Sir, nag-uula kami sa jacket.